my channel. So for today's video we are doing this here. So I have been testing out the makeup, the new XX range palette. So this is like the big huge one. Look at the size of it compared to my head. It is absolutely crazy. It is huge. As I've gone through and done this eye look, there's a few things I've noticed. I will do some swatches for you in a moment, but the one shade that I decided to pick here, can you see it's like proper dented now and things? That's almost like a gel formula. I really struggled to make it work. I got there in the end. It is on my eyelids and it looks really, really good, but it was tricky to sort of figure out what worked best for it, if that makes sense. It's one of these shades where you have to keep building. So as you can see, I've lost a heck of a lot from one eye look. That has been used once. It's not even been swatched prior. So I've lost all that shadow just from two little bits on my eye. So that is going to pan very, very quickly, which is the downside. I don't know how many of these are that consistency, because that one didn't look like it was that consistency when I dipped into it. It was only when I did that I noticed. So we will find out. But I'm going to do some swatches and I'm going to try and find ones that I think look like they might be that consistency. That might be the only one. I really don't know. Does it say on? They're numbered on the back and some have stars next to them. I'm going to look on my phone and see if it's telling me any information. Okay, so I've just checked. That is a one-off shade. I was looking at the ingredients. That has its own ingredients. So that is the only one that is like that. So that is really weird that I was drawn to the one shade that I don't really like the texture of. But yeah, let's just dive in and swatch some of these shades. So we have a mixture of shimmers, we have a mixture of mattes, we have that one jelly shade, we have some big shades. That's just a few there. So basically they're saying that the ones in the middle are staples, so they're the ones that you'll use the most. To be fair, I would have thought they'd put more transition shades in the middle because they would get used more. But saying that, because it's such a colourful palette, quite a lot of these shades can be used as transitions. Like for instance, I've used bright pink as a transition, so yeah, I get where they're going with that. So I'm just swatching at random now. So that is the one that I have on my eyes with a weird texture, and it does swatch nicely. It works well with the fingers, which is great, but it's not really great when you're trying to do a cut crease because you can't get the sort of tight line quite the same. But saying that, I did get there and I did manage it, so it's not sort of, you know, the end of the world. So those are just some of the shades, and as you can see, they are super pigmented. There is a good mixture of mattes and shimmers that I have swatched for you there. I've just not really done any of the browns, so we'll do some of them. I don't know where we're going to do them. Maybe down here. There's just no spaces. That wasn't probably the best place to do them, but... So these are some of the browns. But yeah, I do think this palette is really good. I mean, I've just been swatching and wiping my fingers off as I go, and look at the pigmentation on the wipe, you know, and on my eyes. So I do think this is a really great palette, and I do think it blends really well. The one thing I would say about it though is it costs £28, and yes, you get a lot of shadows for your money, and they are decent shadows. I just feel like the packaging could have been a bit better. It is cardboard, which is fine. We know like quite a lot of companies like to do cardboard. I just feel like it's a little bit flimsy, if that makes sense, like in between the pans. it's not like going to come off or anything, but it is like, it feels a bit wibbly or wobbly, or, you know, doesn't feel as sturdy as it could. There isn't a mirror, but saying that, would you really want a mirror in a palette this big? Because it would be so heavy, so probably not. So that's probably a good thing. But yeah, overall, I would recommend it, but it's getting up to a high-end price, and what I would say is don't expect a high-end quality palette, but expect a good drugstore palette, if that makes sense. So better than, I'd say it's better than the normal standard for Revolution, and Revolution are normally really good anyway, but I'd say it's, you know, a step higher, but it's not like Huda Beauty standard. It's not far off, but it's not quite there. So for £28, don't expect Huda Beauty. Saying that, would you get a palette this big from Huda Beauty for £28? No. So it's kind of a middle, I would say this is like the new range. So you've got drugstore, you've got high end, we've now got a middle. This is going to be the middle range. I don't think that exists, but I've invented it and put this in it. This is going in the middle range category. I think it's great for what it is. And yeah, I am pleased that I've got it, and I will use it. Maybe I just use it when I'm playing around with makeup, who knows. But yeah, I do really like it, and it is definitely going to be a keeper for me. It's not one that I'm going to rush to declutter anytime soon. So now what I'm going to do is insert the footage of me creating this look, and I hope you enjoy it. So I think we're going to start with this pink shade here. I'm just going to apply that with a pencil brush, and I'm just going to trace just above the crease in the shape that I want my eye look to be. Yeah, very pigmented. So now I'm happy with that shape. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat it on the other eye. So now I'm happy with the basic shape. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to blend out the edge of this colour just so that it's not a harsh line. So if you can see the difference here, this is the blended eye, this is the non-blended eye. It just makes it a little bit soft around the edge. So now I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other eye. So now I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go in with this. Now I'm happy with that blend. I'm just going to go in with this slightly darker shade here, and I'm just going to deepen up the crease a little bit. I'm just going to put that right above my eyelid, just to add a slight bit of dimension so it's not one flat colour. It's a very similar colour to the original colours. It's not going to make a massive difference. It just makes the colour look a bit less flat. So for good measure, I'm just going to put a little bit of this dark purple in just to sort of deepen up a little bit more. And again, I'm just doing that right above my eye. I'm just going to go ahead and blend those two colours together because it is a bit of a harsh line. So now I'm happy with my eye look so far. I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease, and I've just realised that I've not got my mic on. So I've done the first half of this video without my mic on, but hopefully, because it wasn't physically on my camera, there was sound. So if the sound's changed, that's why. But I'm going to go ahead now and cut my crease. I've just spritzed my brush, and I'm just going to go in with a glitter shade, and hopefully it's going to work on my brush. If not, I'll have to use my fingers, but I'm going to use this sort of turquoise glitter here. It looks to be a gel, so I think I'm going to have to use my finger. Eyeshadows with this consistency I'm not keen on, if I'm honest. They're just awkward, but I'm going to try it with a silicone brush. Can't escape the vibrancy, but it's just making it work so difficult. Ideally, I don't want to use my fingers right up to the crease because you end up with a line that's not as straight as it could have been. So I'm going to try with a brush now. I've got it going a bit. There's no escaping the fact it's a beautiful shade. It's just not really my cup of tea when it comes to formula. So now I've worked with it, I've layered it up, I've put some on with my finger, some on with the brush. I've managed to get to the edge okay, and the colour payoff is beautiful. But because it is quite an awkward consistency, my line for the cut crease isn't as sharp as I'd like. But to be fair, I'm always a little bit rough around the edges when it comes to getting a sharp cut crease. I always end up going over it with a small brush, so we're going to do that now. Okay, so I've just given my little teeny brush a spritz off with a cleanser, a Revolution cleanser. It's the new one. It's the Brush Cleanse cleansing spray. Looks like this. I don't think I can get that to focus. It smells incredible. That's all I wanted to say. It smells absolutely amazing, so that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've done to that shade and then we'll move on. Look at the state. That is the first time I've used that shade. I've used on one eyelid. I've not even done my second eyelid yet. That is just crazy. So I'm going to use this purple we used previously here, and I'm just going to go and use that to trace around the cut crease, just to sort of neaten it up, because as I said, we have lost a lot of the definition just because of the type of shade that blue was. It's not the best for doing a sharp edge. So this is where we are so far, and I think we're going to give the black a go and just see how black it is. So the black is massive as well, so if it's any good, it's good that it's, you know, a large size. It just means that obviously you can use it with other palettes and things as well. So I'm just going to use a slightly larger pencil brush and I'm just going to dab this across the edge. I do like a black with a cool toned colour like a blue. I do think it looks nice together. And what I'm going to do once I'm happy with this, the way the colour's laid down, is I am going to blend it a bit. I am trying to blend as I go, but I'm not using the right tool for blending. This is more of a placing tool because this is a like pencil type brush. So I'm going to go over this with a blending brush. So I've just got a clean brush now and I'm just going to buff out the edges of this black. I might go in with a colour in a minute on the blending brush just to deepen up this shadow. But for now I just want to buff out the edges with a clean brush. What's nice about this blue shadow as well is that the glitter on it is coming through into the black, which makes the black look glittery and iridescent, which is pretty. So I'm happy with that so far. So what I'm going to do, finish off my left eye off camera, do my face, and then I'll come back, we'll do the under eyes and do all the finishing touches, and I'll see you in a minute. So I'm back. We just need to finish off my under eye, and I also have not put on under eye mascara for some reason that I'm not sure about. But yeah, let's get cracking. So let's get some mascara on my under eye lashes. So now we're going to go ahead and finish off my under eyes. So I'm going to start with the blue. So this wrecked shade here, which is the it's like jelly. That's what it's like. It's like jelly. So I'm just going to put that on sort of the first maybe like 2/3 of my eye or half. We'll see. 2/3 I think. And then we're going to put black on the outer corner. And I'm just going to get this, what's this? A Luxe Petite crease. Just to see if I can blend the join. And then I'm just going to smoke out the corner a little bit more because it has got a bit of a sort of edge to it. So I'm just going to put a small amount of black and just kind of smoke it out a little bit. And there we are with the finished look. I do think that this palette is really good in the pigmentation and the blendability. I made the blue work. I'm not sure, it's not my favourite type of formula, so I would say that the jelly shades are not for me personally, but the colour payoff because of it is really, really good. So it's one of those, you get a beautiful eyeshadow and you have to put up with the formula to make it look like it does. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, it really does help my channel, and I hope to see you in a video again soon. Bye!